Today we're gonna see 10 fantasy standalones that are slightly spooky and that are perfect for this month. We'll see a blend of young adult, of adult fantasy, and we will talk about ghosts, about witches, about alchemy. And we will start with The Wicked Deep. It's a pretty short, fairly good blend between a character and a plot-driven story. It's very dark and it's this kind of book that really wins because of this ambience. It's gonna be this town surrounded by mist, and we will have the story of three women, witches that were drowned. And from that moment, every summer, they are rising up again and they are starting to chase different boys in order to drown them as well. So this is going to be almost a thriller at some points, because we will start knowing that this new season is starting and that the witches, these ghosts, are emerging. And you don't know why this is happening, who are going to be the ones dying. And we will have our main girl who is in the middle of all of these, and she's starting to know this void that she really wants to keep safe. It's dark, descriptive, but it also had some pretty sweet scenes. For the same author and keeping the witches topic, we have Winterwood. This is gonna be completely different setting. We will have this enchanted frosty forest, and we will have this coven, this family of witches, and they are the only ones that are able to go into this forest and, you know, retrieve something magical from it. And one day our girl will get into this forest, and what she will find there is a boy that has been missing, and the mystery will unfold from there. We'll have a lot of family found vibes. We will also see this very disturbing relationship between some teenagers, but there's also gonna be this chosen one trope. It's fresh, it's creepy, and overall I thought it was really unique. And honestly, there's a scene that it's pretty mad and that it will chase you for a long time. And going to one of my favorites from this list, we have House of Salt and Sorrow, which is actually a retelling of the fairy tale The 12 Dancing Princesses. And it is set in this gothic manor by the sea, where we will follow our main character, who is realizing that her sisters are dying. We kick off the story with some of her sisters already dying of very tragic deaths, and you know, she not really understanding what is happening. And although everything seemed at the beginning as an accident, she's starting to think that things might not be as natural. This therefore will also have this thriller, this mystery that you need to unravel. Although the ambience will really get you down on these rainy days, there's a little bit of romance in this book, which I really appreciated and honestly loved it. And now we go to Gallant by B. Schwab. And this is the kind of story where we will be following a teenage girl that finds herself in this house that is a little bit haunted. In terms of tropes, we'll have this chosen one, but also, you know, like these I don't fit in this world, but I am finally finding my space kind of vibe. This is a book that it's sad, that it's beautiful, and that it's creepy, all at the same time. We will be following our girl who cannot speak, and she has a little bit of a special power because she's able to see ghosts, and she is living in an orphanage. But one day she receives this letter to go to her family manor called Gallant. But once that she arrives, she starts to discover that through the wall there's access to another house similar to Gallant, but that is haunted and where the shadows live. And so from that moment, she will start unraveling a problem of what happened with her family. Couldn't put it down. Nettle Bone. This is also a dark fairy tale, but it's surprisingly light in tone. You will see a very good blend of spooky, creepy moments with a little bit of weird magic, with very cute moments and also very fun ones. Pretty plot-driven read, but we will have enough depth to our characters to know them. And although I've read this some months ago now, I still find myself thinking time and time again about this story, and we will be following our girl. She is one of the sisters to the throne, and she does not really believe herself to be worth of that title, and so she has been retired. But one day she discovers that her sister, who is married to this neighbor kingdom, is being treated very badly, and she takes it upon herself to go and save her sister, but also avoid war. And throughout that quest, she will meet different people. The ambience is like this forest, but also this castle. So if you want that vibe, go for this. We go to an urban fantasy, Ace of Spades. This has been pitched as the perfect blend between Gossip Girl and Get Out, the movie. And I cannot agree more. This will be set in this college where we will start to follow different characters, and things are not as it seems. We will have a pacing that is extremely fast, but at the same time, we will have two different points of view, which will really allow us to know the different characters, which are very different. We will kick off with a new school year, and we'll start to see how these two main characters are starting to receive messages, and that the things that they do are starting to get public, which it's already weird, but things go really wrong when you realize that they are the only Black people in their school. This is almost a mental thriller, right? Like, you won't feel sure about what you're reading, and I thought it was utterly engaging. Then we go to Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. This is acknowledgedly the one that is the cutest of this list, because the topic relates around death. It had this rebeka theme, so I really believe it is still a good book if you want to get into this mood. But at the same time, it's going to be pretty hilarious, dark humor, but also, overall sweet. And we will be following here our main character who has had a heart attack. And instead of fading away, he is taken care by this rebeka who leads him into this tea shop in the outskirts of a town. So the ambience will be the majority of this time in this wood house, that it's a tea shop, in the forest, which is beautiful, whimsical. But the topic, it's pretty deep. Our guy who now needs to deal with the situation of he passing away. And continuing with one of my obsessions of this year, we have Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson. This is such a different book. The setting will be churches, cathedrals, demons, relics, nuns. The scenery is pretty grey, pretty dark, but at the same time, following this author writing style, we will have a very plot-driven, very action-packed story with these almost sweet interactions and very funny interactions at times between our character and, in this case, what lies within the relic. It's so much a chosen one kind of a story, and we will follow our girl Artemisa. She lives in this place where she is been trained to hold and manage the different relics, and these relics are kind of like what remains of demons of different orders, of different powers. And one day something really happens, and the only chance that our girl has is to go and take one of the most powerful relics, and from that moment she will be kind of possessed with this relic, and the story unfolds from there. It's going to be as well a mystery to be solved. There's going to be a story of ghosts, of possessions, but at the same time of bravery. And keeping this short and sweet, we will have Long Live the Pumpkin Queen, which is the sequel to The Nightmare Before Christmas. And so if you really love the movie, the characters, and you cannot tired of this world, this is going to be a book for you. It really works if you love with burning passion this world. It's going to be the story of Sally, this ragged doll that is recently married to Jack, the Pumpkin King, and we'll see how she's struggling with her new queen role. And one day she will discover one door in this forest of the different doors, and she will get into a realm that will change things forever, not just to Halloween Town. It's amazing if you love Zero, if you love Jack, if you love Sally, and this is the story that she needed, and finally we have it. That's it. And I'm keeping this for the last because it's part of a series, but it can be read as a standalone. We have Middlegame. This is an alchemy kind of a story. We'll have these different experiments with blood, with the alchemy itself. That is kind of like the vibe with something cosmical it's happening and you just want to know what is it. And we will be following two main characters here, so we will see different points of view, and I thought that was, again, very interesting. It's pretty character driven, I guess. We'll see our characters through different stages of their life, but at times I still thought that it was a little bit complex to connect with those characters, but the plot itself, it's really mind-blowing. And we will follow Roger and Dodger. One, it's a genius with the math, and the other one with the language. And although this might seem normal, we will soon discover that they are part of this experiment, that it's aimed to change the world. And it seems that they might be the key in order to unlock it. And so they will start chasing, discovering their own powers, and the story that unfolds will really surprise you. This is probably the chunkiest one, but still, if you want to have this mood, go for it. Let me know, out of all of these, which is your favorite setting, and let's keep the conversation from there. But if you really want to see witchy book recommendations, I really recommend you to watch this video, which I believe you will enjoy.